Have you ever stood at the precipice of a monumental task, a goal that could redefine your future, only to find yourself inexplicably paralyzed? You know what needs to be done. You possess the skills, the intellect, perhaps even the burning desire. Yet, an invisible force, a silent saboteur, pulls you back, whispering doubts, inventing distractions, until the opportunity slips through your fingers like grains of sand. This isn't merely about laziness or a lack of willpower. No, what we're about to uncover is far more intricate, far more insidious. It's the dark side of procrastination, a labyrinth of self-sabotage woven deep within the very fabric of our minds. Today, we journey into its shadowed corridors to expose the hidden patterns that trap us, and more importantly, to discover the keys to unlock our true, unhindered potential. This isn't just a discussion. It's an invitation to look within, to confront the unseen forces that shape your choices. If you're ready to peel back the layers of your own behavior and finally understand the mechanisms that drive you, then you've found your destination. Join us as we delve behind the behavior. We often dismiss procrastination as a simple character flaw, a sign of weakness. But that simplistic view misses a profound neurological undercurrents at play. To truly conquer this pervasive enemy, we must first understand it, not as a moral failing, but as a deeply ingrained behavioral pattern, a habit. And like all habits, it's built on a foundation of triggers, routines, and rewards. Imagine your brain as a complex, self-optimizing machine. It's constantly seeking efficiency, conserving energy, and above all, avoiding pain while pursuing pleasure. Procrastination in this context isn't an anomaly. It's a highly efficient, though ultimately destructive, coping mechanism. It's a shortcut your brain has learned to take, a default pathway established through repetition. The good news? What has been learned can be unlearned. What has been built can be rebuilt. But it requires more than just wishing. It demands a deep understanding of the neuroscience of habit formation. This isn't about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's about a methodical, scientific approach to reprogramming your internal operating system. Let's begin by dissecting the anatomy of a habit, as illuminated by groundbreaking research in behavioral psychology. Every habit, whether it serves you or sabotages you, follows a three-part loop: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is the signal that tells the brain to enter automatic mode and which habit to use. It could be a time of day, a particular location, an emotional state, or even the presence of certain people. For example, the moment you sit down at your desk with that looming deadline might be a cue. The routine is the behavior itself, the physical or mental action in response to the cue. In our procrastination example, the routine might be checking social media, organizing your email inbox for the fifth time, or simply staring blankly at the screen. And finally, the reward. This is the positive feedback the brain receives for completing the routine, reinforcing the loop and making it more likely to happen again in the future. The reward for procrastinating isn't always obvious. It might be the temporary relief from anxiety, the fleeting pleasure of distraction, or the illusion of control over a challenging task by delaying it. This reward, however fleeting, tells your brain, "That felt good. Do it again next time you encounter that cue." Consider the insidious nature of this reward. When you face a daunting task, writing a complex report, preparing for a crucial presentation, or tackling a difficult conversation, your brain anticipates the effort, the potential for failure, the discomfort. This anticipation triggers a stress response. Procrastination, by diverting your attention to something easier or more pleasurable, offers immediate, albeit temporary, relief from that stress. This temporary stress relief is the powerful reward that strengthens the procrastination habit loop. It's a psychological anesthetic, numbing the discomfort for a brief period, but ultimately leaving the underlying problem unresolved, often compounded by guilt and increased anxiety. The brain, in its quest for efficiency, learns to associate the cue, stressful task, with a routine, procrastinate, and a reward, temporary relief, solidifying the neural pathways of self-sabotage. This is why willpower alone often fails. You're not fighting a lack of resolve. You're fighting years of ingrained neurological programming. So, how do we begin to dismantle these deeply etched patterns? The first step, and arguably the most crucial, is awareness. We must become forensic psychologists of our own minds, meticulously observing our cues, routines, and rewards. When do you typically procrastinate? What specific situations, emotions, or thoughts precede the act? Is it when you feel overwhelmed? When you're unsure how to start? When you fear imperfection? Jot these down. Be a silent observer of your own internal landscape. For instance, perhaps you notice that every time you open your project management software, a wave of dread washes over you, and almost immediately, you find yourself checking your phone. The open software is your cue, the dread is an internal cue, and checking your phone is your routine. The reward? A momentary escape from perceived burden. Once you've identified your cues, the next step is a deliberate interruption of the routine. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to do the dreaded task immediately. That often backfires, creating more resistance. Instead, it means introducing a small, deliberate interruption. This is where the concept of friction comes into play. Make the undesirable routine more difficult to access. If checking social media is your go-to procrastination routine, consider deleting the apps from your phone for a few hours, or placing your phone in another room. If endless email checking is a culprit, close your email client for designated blocks of time. These small barriers create a window of opportunity, a brief pause where you can consciously choose a different path. This is not about brute force. It's about subtle redirection. Now, for the critical piece, replacing the old routine with a new, empowering one. This is where we begin to reshape our neurological landscape. The goal is to create a new habit loop that serves your success rather than sabotaging it. When you encounter your identified cue, instead of defaulting procrastination, you'll consciously choose a new routine. But what should this new routine be? It needs to be small, manageable, and immediately actionable. This is not the time to commit to an hour of intense work. This is the time to commit to 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. For example, if your cue is sitting at your desk and feeling overwhelmed by a report, your new routine might be, open a document and write 1 sentence. Or, write down 3 bullet points of the introduction. The key is to make the initial step so small, so insignificant, that your brain can't find a valid reason to resist. It's a psychological hack, a way to bypass the resistance circuit. And what about a reward? The reward for this new, productive routine must be immediate and satisfying. It doesn't have to be grand. It could be a stretch break, a sip of your favorite tea, a moment of mindful breathing, or even just the quiet satisfaction of having taken that first, tiny step. The brain craves reinforcement. By providing a positive reward immediately after your new, desired behavior, you begin to forge a new neural pathway. You are literally teaching your brain to associate the cue with a productive action and a positive outcome. Over time, this new pathway strengthens, becoming the new default. This is the essence of habit formation. Consistent, rewarded repetition. Let's delve deeper into implementation strategies, drawing from the wisdom of neuroscience. One powerful technique is habit stacking. This involves attaching a new habit you want to form to an existing habit you already have. For instance, if you want to start meditating for 5 minutes each morning, you might stack it onto your existing coffee-making routine. After I pour my first cup of coffee, I will sit down and meditate for 5 minutes. The existing habit, making coffee, serves as a cue for the new habit, meditating, making it easier to remember and implement. The brain loves sequences. By linking a desired behavior to an already established one, you leverage existing neural pathways, making a new habit feel less like an effort and more like a natural continuation. Another crucial strategy is environment design. Your environment is a powerful, often overlooked determinant of your behavior. If your workspace is cluttered, filled with distractions, or uncomfortable, it will inherently make productive work harder and procrastination easier. Design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits difficult. If you want to write more, keep your writing tools easily accessible and your phone out of sight. If you want to eat healthier, keep healthy snacks visible and unhealthy ones hidden. This isn't about willpower. It's about preempting the need for willpower. It's about engineering your surroundings to support your goals, rather than unconsciously sabotaging them. This is where the dark side of procrastination often hides in plain sight. in the subtle cues of an unoptimized environment. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: perfectionism. For many, the fear of not doing something perfectly is a primary driver of procrastination. If you can't do it perfectly, why do it at all? This all-or-nothing thinking is a classic self-sabotage mechanism. It sets an impossibly high bar, guaranteeing failure and providing a convenient excuse for inaction. To overcome this, we must embrace the concept of good enough. The goal is progress, not perfection. Remember our 5-minute rule? That's good enough. It's better to consistently take small, imperfect steps than to endlessly wait for the perfect moment to take a monumental leap. The neuroscientific explanation here is that action generates momentum. Even imperfect action releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. This dopamine release reinforces a behavior, making it more likely you'll take the next step. Perfectionism, conversely, often leads to paralysis, starving the brain of this crucial motivational chemical. Let's talk about the role of self-compassion. This journey of habit transformation is not about self-flagellation. When you falter, there will be days when you slip back into old patterns. That is not a sign of failure. It is a natural part of the learning process. When you find yourself procrastinating, instead of succumbing to self-criticism, observe it with curiosity. What was the cue? What was the reward? What can you learn from this instance? Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend who is struggling. Self-compassion reduces stress, which in turn reduces the likelihood of seeking temporary relief through procrastination. It creates a space for learning and growth, rather than shame and stagnation. The journey we're discussing is one of gradual, incremental change. This isn't about immediate, dramatic overhauls. That approach often leads to burnout and a return to old habits. Instead, we adopt the philosophy of Kaizen, the Japanese concept of continuous improvement through small, consistent steps. Think of it like a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each chip, no matter how small, contributes to the final masterpiece. Similarly, each small, positive action you take consistently will gradually reshape your brain's architecture, building new neural pathways that support your goals. Avoid the trap of expecting overnight success. The brain needs time to rewire itself. Patience and consistency are your most powerful allies. To make this practical, let's outline a progressive plan. Phase 1, awareness and observation, 1 to 2 weeks. Your primary task here is to become a detective of your own behavior. Carry a small notebook or use a digital tool to track your procrastination instances. For each instance, ask yourself, what was the task I was avoiding? What time of day was it? Where was I? How was I feeling? Tired, stressed, anxious, bored? What did I do instead? The procrastination routine. What temporary relief or pleasure did I get from it? The reward? This phase is purely observational. No judgment. No attempts to change anything yet. Just gather data. This data is invaluable. It will illuminate your unique procrastination patterns. Phase 2, disrupting cues and routines, 2 to 4 weeks. Based on your observations, identify your most common cues. For each cue, brainstorm ways to either remove it or make it less potent. If a cluttered desk is a cue for overwhelm, dedicate 10 minutes each morning to tidying it. If notifications are a cue for distraction, turn them off during designated work blocks. Next, identify your dominant procrastination routines. For each routine, introduce a small barrier or friction. If social media is your routine, log out of all accounts after each use, or move the app icon to a less accessible folder on your phone. The goal is to make the old routine slightly inconvenient. Simultaneously, identify a very small, actionable first step for the task you usually procrastinate on. Remember, 5 minutes, 1 sentence, 1 email. This tiny step will be your new routine. Phase 3, building new rewards and stacking habits, ongoing. Now, it's time to solidify the new patterns. After you complete your tiny, new routine, immediately reward yourself. This reward should be small, consistent, and genuinely enjoyable. It could be a piece of dark chocolate, a quick walk around the block, listening to one favorite song, or a few minutes of mindful breathing. The key is immediacy. Begin to experiment with habit stacking. Identify existing, strong habits in your daily routine. Can you attach one of your new, desired productive actions to an existing one? For example, after I finish my morning coffee, I will open my project document for 5 minutes. Or, before I eat lunch, I will review my top 3 priorities for the afternoon. Continuously refine your environment. Remove temptations. Add prompts for desired behaviors. If you want to drink more water, keep a full water bottle on your desk. If you want to read more, place a book prominently on your nightstand. Throughout all phases, remember the power of implementation intentions. This is a fancy term for a simple strategy. Clearly state when and where you will perform a new habit. Instead of saying, I will work on my report, say, at 9 a.m. in my office, I will open the report document and write 1 paragraph. This specificity makes it much more likely you'll follow through. It preloads a decision, taking the burden off your willpower in the moment. Your brain now has a clear instruction for how to respond to a specific cue. It's crucial to manage expectations. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. There will be setbacks. You will have days where old habits resurface. When this happens, do not despair. Do not view it as a failure, but as an opportunity to learn. Re-examine your cues, routines, and rewards. Adjust your strategies. Perhaps your new routine was too ambitious, or your reward wasn't satisfying enough. The beauty of the scientific approach is its adaptability. It's a continuous experiment, and you are both the scientist and the subject. Be patient with yourself. Be persistent. Celebrate every small victory, every 5-minute block of focused work. Every time you choose a new, empowering path, each tiny step is a brick in the foundation of your future success. The dark side of procrastination isn't an external monster. It's an internal mechanism, a deeply ingrained pattern designed to protect you, albeit imperfectly, from discomfort. But by understanding its anatomy, the cues, the routines, and the rewards, and by applying the principles of neuroscience, you gain the power to reprogram your own mind. You can transform yourself from a victim of self-sabotage into the architect of your own intentional habits. This journey requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to engage in consistent, deliberate effort. But the rewards, the freedom from paralysis, the realization of your potential, the profound sense of accomplishment are immeasurable. The patterns we've explored today are not merely theoretical constructs. They are the hidden forces that shape our lives, determining whether we merely dream of success or actively build it. The choice, ultimately, lies with you. Will you continue to be swayed by the whispers of self-sabotage, or will you seize the reins of your own behavior, one conscious choice at a time? The power to change, to transcend the limitations you've unknowingly imposed upon yourself, resides within you. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more fully who you already are, unburdened by the dark patterns that hold you back. The path is clear. The tools are at your disposal. Now, if this journey into the hidden mechanics of your mind has resonated with you, if you're ready to unlock more insights into human behavior, and if you're committed to understanding the subtle forces that shape our world, then don't let this moment of revelation be a fleeting thought. Dive deeper with us. Subscribe to Behind the Behavior. Hit the notification bell so you never miss another profound insight. Share this video with someone who might be struggling with these very patterns. Your engagement fuels our mission to illuminate the unseen, to reveal the patterns hidden behind every action, every thought, every feeling. The conversation doesn't end here, only just begins. Join our community and let's continue to explore the incredible complexities of a human mind together. The journey to self-mastery is a continuous one, and we are here to guide you every step of the way. Your transformation begins now. Fade to black. Sound a subtle, uplifting, yet authoritative musical motif, then fading slightly under narration. Narrator Vio, but what does seizing the reins truly look like in practice? It's more than just a fleeting decision. It's a sustained commitment to a paradigm shift. We've touched upon the theoretical underpinnings, the architecture of self-sabotage, and the promise of intentional habits. Now, Let's delve into the practical application, the granular steps that move you from understanding to undeniable action. Imagine your mind not as a singular entity, but as a vast, intricate garden. For years, perhaps decades, weeds of self-doubt, procrastination, and fear have grown rampant, choking out the vibrant flowers of ambition and productivity. You wouldn't simply wish these weeds away. You'd actively pull them, nourish the soil, and plant new seeds. This metaphorical gardening is precisely the work we're discussing. The first practical step is what we call pattern interruption. Self-sabotage often operates on autopilot, a deeply grooved neural pathway. The moment you recognize the onset of destructive pattern, the urge to procrastinate on a crucial task, the impulse to overindulge, the familiar spiral of negative self-talk, that's your critical window. Instead of passively observing, actively disrupt it. This could be as simple as changing your physical location, taking a 5-minute walk, splashing cold water on your face, or even just jotting down the exact thought that triggered the pattern. The goal isn't to solve the problem immediately, but to break the trance, to introduce a conscious pause where an unconscious reaction usually resides. Let's take the example of procrastination. You have a looming deadline. The familiar dread sets in. Your mind offers a buffet of distractions. Check social media, clean the house, watch just one episode. A common response is to succumb, feeling a temporary relief before the inevitable guilt. Pattern interruption here might involve setting a timer for 2 minutes, during which you must open a relevant document and read the first paragraph. Not write, just read. This tiny, almost insignificant act often bypasses the internal resistance, proving to your brain that the task isn't as insurmountable as it imagined. It's a micro win that chips away at the monolithic fear. Next, we introduce mindful observation without judgment. After interrupting the pattern, the crucial follow-up is to observe what's happening internally. What thoughts are surfacing? What emotions are you experiencing? Is it fear of failure? Fear of success? A desire for comfort? The key here is to observe without judgment. Your thoughts and feelings are data, not declarations of your worth. Too often, we get caught in a secondary layer of self-sabotage, judging ourselves for having the initial self-sabotaging thought. This only reinforces the negative cycle. Instead, simply note, I'm feeling anxiety about this presentation because I fear not being perfect. Or, I notice a strong urge to avoid this difficult conversation because I dread conflict. This detached observation disarms the emotional charge, allowing you to respond rather than react. Consider the individual struggling with emotional eating. The trigger might be stress. The pattern: open the fridge, grab comfort food, eat mindlessly. Pattern interruption could be stepping away from the fridge. Go to a different room. Mindful observation then involves asking, what am I truly feeling right now? Is it hunger, or is it stress, loneliness, boredom? By identifying a true underlying need, you can then address it constructively, perhaps by calling a friend, going for a walk, or practicing deep breathing, instead of defaulting to the self-sabotaging coping mechanism. The third practical pillar is strategic substitution. Once you've interrupted the negative pattern and observed the underlying drivers, you're empowered to consciously choose a different, more constructive behavior. This isn't about brute forcing willpower. It's about intelligently designing alternatives. If the urge to procrastinate stems from fear of overwhelming tasks, substitute the overwhelming task with a micro task. Instead of write the report, choose outline the first section. If the self-sabotage involves negative self-talk, substitute it with a pre-prepared positive affirmation or a mental visualization of yourself succeeding. The power of strategic substitution lies in its proactivity. You don't wait for self-sabotage to strike and then scramble for a solution. You anticipate it and have a healthier alternative ready. For someone prone to social anxiety that leads to isolation, the pattern might be declining invitations. The substitution isn't to force themselves into a large, intimidating gathering, but perhaps to commit to a short, low-pressure interaction, like a 15-minute coffee with one trusted friend. It's about building momentum with small, achievable wins. This brings us to environmental engineering. Our environment plays an enormous, often underestimated, role in shaping our habits, both good and bad. To truly be the architect of intentional habits, You must design your environment to support your goals and mitigate the triggers for self-sabotage. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to write more, create a dedicated, distraction-free workspace. If you're trying to reduce screen time, move your phone charger out of your bedroom. Think of the person trying to break a late-night internet surfing habit. Their environment might be a comfortable couch, a large screen, and easy access to their device. Environmental engineering means moving the router to a less accessible part of the house, setting a specific device bedtime, or even using software to block distracting websites after a certain hour. It's about making the desired behavior easier and the undesired behavior harder. It's about setting yourself up for success rather than relying solely on raw willpower, which is a finite resource. Furthermore, we must embrace the power of small wins and compounding success. This journey is not about radical, overnight transformation. It's about consistent, incremental progress. Each time you successfully interrupt a pattern, observe mindfully, substitute strategically, or engineer your environment, you're not just performing an isolated act. You're reinforcing new neural pathways. You're building habit muscles. These small wins compound over time, creating a virtuous cycle. The more you succeed, the more confident you become, the easier it gets to make the next conscious choice. Consider the analogy of building a bridge. You don't just magically wish a bridge into existence. You lay one foundation stone, then another, then erect a support beam, then another. Each step, however small, is essential and contributes to a final, magnificent structure. Your new habits are that bridge, connecting your current self to your potential self. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, there is self-compassion and resilience in the face of setbacks. This journey is not linear. There will be days when old patterns reemerge, when you fall back into self-sabotage. This is not a sign of failure. It's an inevitable part of the learning process. The critical difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to these setbacks. Instead of succumbing to guilt and abandoning the effort entirely, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge the slip, learn from it, and recommit. Ask yourself, what triggered this relapse? What can I do differently next time? Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about how quickly and gracefully you get back up. Every setback is an opportunity for deeper understanding and refinement of your strategy. It's a chance to gather more data on your unique Gatilhos and tailor your approach even more effectively. This holistic approach, pattern interruption, mindful observation, strategic substitution, environmental engineering, the power of small wins, and self-compassion, forms a robust framework for dismantling self-sabotage and constructing a life of intentional action. It's a continuous loop of learning, adjusting, and growing. The conversation we started today is merely the beginning of your journey. The insights shared are not magic pills, but rather keys to unlock doors you may not have even known existed. The true magic lies in your consistent application of these principles. It lies in the courage to look inward, the discipline to act outward, and the compassion to forgive yourself along the winding path of self-mastery. Your transformation isn't a destination. It's a dynamic process, a constant becoming. By understanding the intricate dance between your conscious desires and your unconscious patterns, you gain the ultimate freedom. The freedom to choose, to create, to thrive. The power is truly within you. The path is clear. The tools are at your disposal. Your transformation begins now. Fade to black.